Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Oh yeah, I think it's time we talk about the Chucky movies. All right, so I'm a big fan of Chucky when he was in the Child's Play series. Okay, to me that's where I felt the series really peaked. After that, they got insanely ridiculous. So I'm going to be talking about the Child's Play series. Okay, the Chucky series, should I say? And we're just gonna just narrow it down. So let's get right into it. Coming in at number four, the Child's Play remake 2019. I think it was when it came out. Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, and Curse of Chucky. I put all of these together because I'm not really a fan of any of these. I mean, Curse of Chucky is pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, that one's pretty good. And the remake was enjoyable for what it was. Yeah, I know. I heard the complaint from a lot of people. Like, oh, how come it wasn't more like the old school one or the one from back in the day? If you want something that's like the old one, why don't you just watch the original, like the old one? If you want, you see what I mean? I never got that. Go watch the original. I never go back to watch any of these, like ever, ever. I mean, I've seen them, but probably out of the bunch of those, the best one is probably Curse of Chucky, but that's not saying a lot. Coming in at number three is Child's Play 3. I give them credit for trying something new. You know what I mean? Because in the first two, it took place in homes, houses, and kitchens and whatnot. This was different in a military school. You're like, well, what the hell could really happen in such a well guarded place? But boy, Chucky made use of that surrounding, didn't he? The first two, Chucky is a little bit. He does have some silly things in the first two, kind of childish. But in this one, the third one, he's just brutal. You know what I mean? Like he's putting bullets to shoot the fucking kids, like grenades blowing up one dude, and trash compactor crushing a guy. Like damn, like Chucky like does not hold back at all in the third one. And honestly, to me, the third one has a really really good climax in the horror, the haunted house roller coaster thing. I like it. I think it's cool. And a lot of people talk about Bride of Chucky, how Chucky's got all the scars and everything, which is a cool look. Don't get me wrong. But dude, in this one, man, when they slice half of his face and you can see like all the blood and like the entrails or whatever, in the little yeah, he looks badass, dude. Chucky looks sick. And honestly, it still has my absolute favorite way that they ever killed Chucky is the giant fan where he gets tore up to shreds. That shit's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, damn. Just for that ending alone, it's so high up there for me. Coming in at number two is Child's Play 2. What can I say about this film that hasn't been said already? I like how Chucky is just more to the point, talking shit a lot, being a handful and a mouthful. This guy cusses a lot. Basically giving no fucks. Like Chucky just is all out. Balls to the wall, he's just being him. I like when he destroys the other good guy doll. Tommy, that's funny, the laughter, the famous laugh. The kills in the second one are okay. I mean, like he suffocates a dude with a bag and he whips a teacher with a ruler to death. That one still never, it didn't make sense then, it doesn't make sense now. Is that the voodoo thing? And see, that's a thing that's definitely a con in part two and part three is they don't really talk about the voodoo side of him, and I always thought that was a cool aspect of him, Charles E. Ray, the Lakeshore Strangler, he was a voodoo guy, and I always thought that was pretty cool, but they never really mention it in the second or third one. The climax is really good when they're in the Play Pals or the Good Guy Doll factory, the warehouse. He's got like the giant maze of the all the Good Guy dolls. That's pretty cool. I like that. Chucky takes a fucking ass whooping, dude, in part two. I do like the second one, the climax too. Where he gets his hand ripped off and he shoves the blade in his damn wrist and his stub, and his legs get all tore up. And Chucky is very not versatile, but he that guy can take a beating. Oh yeah, he's a tank for being so small. Fucking Chucky is a tank, man. But yeah, I enjoy, and how they kill him at the end, his head blows up. That's pretty cool. Sorry, spoilers. I do enjoy it. I go back to watch this one quite often. Coming in at number 1 is Child's Play, the original. Why do I put this one so high up there compared to the other ones? Well, I like this one. Like I find myself coming back to watch this one the most out of all of them. It's just it's enjoyable to me, you know. And honestly, I think this is the only one that has any kind of little element of horror to it. All the other ones just became kind of comical. This one's just kind of dark. You know, it just looks grungy and grimy compared to all the other ones. It just not a single Chucky movie or Child's Play movie afterwards ever got that vibe, ever got that feel. It's just it I don't know. It has just a weird feel to it. Like it just looks dirty. It just looks dark compared to, you know, part 2, 3 and so on. I don't know if because it was lower budget, you know, the production, you know, cinematography, I don't know, but it's just so dark compared to the other Child's Play movies, you know. And Chucky wasn't that silly yet. You know what I mean? Like he was funny. He had some funny moments, and he wasn't that silly as he became in the later installments. And of course, they talk more about the voodoo, which like I said, I always thought that was a cool aspect of the character. They never really got explored in 2 or 3. I mean, yeah, in the later ones it did. You know, like I believe it was in the Curse and Cult. You know, but not. Those are so ridiculous and over the top that it kind of took me out. But anyway, or maybe that was Bride. Bride also talked about it too. You know, Jennifer Tilly's character. But again, they're so absurd and silly by that point. Who cares? This one just, you know, it kind of lets you know more about who Charles Lee Ray was. You know, hell, you even see Charles Lee Ray, you know, in the beginning. You know, I mean, granted, you do see him in one of the later ones, but whatever. I don't know. There was just something about it about this one that I like, you know. And then the killings are very, very brutal for their, you know. I mean, when he hits that lady in the face, you know, with the hammer, and she falls out the window, and you know that dude gets blown up to pieces. Dude, the way he kills the doctor by like a little electrocuting him or whatever, like Jesus, man, Chucky, damn. And again, I believe this is 88 when it came out. I think so. It's like, dude, you know, look at those special effects for their time. You know what I mean? They're quite impressive. The only thing is the way they kill him at the end. It's kind of very underwhelming. You know, they shoot him in the heart, you know, but I get it though, because at least it's explained. But yeah, you know, and Chucky, I'm sorry, Andy is very innocent in this one, and it actually feels like an actual threat. Whereas in part 2, I mean, yeah, Andy's a little bit older, and you know, he's more self-aware, and he can take care of himself a little bit better. So the threat doesn't feel as there as it does in the first one. I think that's why I like the first one. It's very much predator and prey, you know, hunter, you know, and prey and stuff like that. It just feels something, and then you feel bad for the kid because nobody believes him. It was like Chucky's doing this, but nobody believes him, you know, because why would you? Definitely my favorite one in the entire series is the original Child's Play. So once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. As always, please subscribe if you haven't already. If you haven't, I don't know what you're waiting for. I welcome any and all comments. Let me know what your favorite in the entire Chucky Child's Play series is, you know, which order you have. I'm actually curious to find out. If you agree with me, cool. If you don't, that's fine too. Everybody has their own opinion. As always, I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time, okay? Take care.
I hate kids.